And it's now my privilege to introduce the esteemed co-host of our 8th replenishment, His Excellency, President Cyril Ramaphosa of the Republic of South Africa. Please. President Ramaphosa.
Thank you, Program Director. Your Excellency Keir Starmer, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom and co-host of the 8th Global Fund, Replenishment, Your Excellencies, Heads of Government and State, Ministers who are here present, and distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen. At a time when multilateralism has increasingly come under strain and pressure, global cooperation in health is being sorely tested. This 8th replenishment summit of the Global Fund is indeed a milestone for global health. Building resilient health systems, scaling up local manufacturing of medicines and diagnostics and therapeutics, and securing sustainable financing are vital for both social and economic development of the people of the world who are vulnerable. Without a healthy population, nations cannot prosper. It is therefore essential that we close gaps in access to medicines, diagnostics, and therapeutics, and financing as well, so that every country can protect its people and achieve health equity. Today we celebrate the collective effort to end HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria across the globe. We reflect on the difficult journey we have all traveled and the great progress we have made. This summit reflects our shared commitment to invest in universal health coverage today for social protection and resilient health systems. It is up to us in the end to demonstrate that solidarity as well as collective action can prevail over division. It has been an honor and a privilege for me to co-host the summit over the past year alongside the United Kingdom and the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. We are deeply grateful to all partners who have made early pledges of nearly $4.3 billion so far. These initial pledges laid the basis, the groundwork for a robust campaign throughout 2025. I'm pleased to announce that South Africa's government and the private sector is pledging a total of $36.6 million towards this replenishment. Now, as many of the people who are here are South Africans, they would like to hear it expressed in South African rands. This is the equivalent of 630 million rand. Now, of the South African contribution, a total of $5.5 million has been pledged by the Goodbye Malaria Organization and $4.5 million by the Anglo-American Corporation, as they indicated earlier. So let us give them too a round of applause. We commend them for their unwavering commitment to improve the health of the people of our country, of our continent, and indeed the world. South African private sector has indicated that more pledges will follow. I call on the private sector in our country and elsewhere in the world to step up and be counted amongst those that made a smart investment in people towards eliminating HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria. Our pledge represents our confidence in the Global Fund partnership and in its ability to deliver on its promises. We remain grateful to the global health community that has supported us over the past few decades as one of the countries most severely affected by HIV, AIDS, and TB. We urge partners to maintain the momentum that we have achieved and continue to make bold, transformative commitments that match the scale of our common challenges. It now gives me great pleasure to invite my co-host, Prime Minister Keir Starmer, to make his own remarks. I thank you.
Thank you so much, President Ramaphosa, distinguished guests. The UK is proud to have co-chaired this 8th replenishment with South Africa, the first time it's been co-hosted by partners from the global north and south. And I want to start by saying a big thank you to all of those that have contributed, and of course, Peter Sands and his team. What the Global Fund has achieved is one of the most helpful and inspiring stories of human progress. Since the UK hosted the first replenishment back in 2002, our shared investments have saved over 70 million lives across more than 100 countries, cutting the combined death rate of these diseases by almost 2/3 and building stronger, more resilient health systems. Just think of what that has meant for millions of families, the children growing up with their parents, the parents not having to bury their own children, the hope of a future where once there was a death sentence. Yet, heartbreakingly, malaria still kills a child under 5 years of age every minute. Just think about that. 4,000 adolescent girls and young women still contract HIV every week. TB remains the world's single deadliest infectious disease, even though we've had a cure for almost a century. And the rise of antimicrobial resistance even threatens some of the progress that we thought we'd made. So let me address very directly what many of us are feeling right now. How do we win this fight when countries like my own are having to make difficult decisions on our development spending? Well, first, even when we make these decisions, we can choose to prioritise global health and to prioritise organisations like the Global Fund, with a clear ability to maximise the effectiveness of the money given to it. That is what the UK has done and will continue to do, because it's the right thing to do, and it's in our national interest too. No one is safe from disease until everyone is safe from disease. We invest in the Global Fund because it provides very clear and tangible benefits in terms of lives saved and diseases combated. That is enough of a justification on its own in my book. But I also know there are benefits for the UK economy and a huge opportunity for UK life sciences to help grow our economy and create more jobs by continuing to pioneer new life-saving treatments, like the British breakthrough in bed nets that work against insecticide-resistant mosquitoes And by drawing in the private sector investment, we can also bring down the cost of new treatments. So I'm delighted that in the last 6 months, we've seen the biggest ever commitments from the private sector. Second, we have got to reform the global health system. So every penny, every rand, every cent that we invest has the greatest possible impact. And let's be honest, let's be frank, institutions have multiplied, there are too many silos, health systems have become fragmented. So I really welcome the Global Fund's commitment to reform, putting countries back in the lead, strengthening national health systems, keeping communities at its heart, and working ever more closely with multilateral partners like Gavi and key regional bodies like the African Union. And third, and this is very much the story of our times, we've got to work together to pioneer a new approach to development. It means countries like mine resetting our relationship with the Global South, a relationship based on partnership, not paternalism, a shift from donor to investor. It means supporting countries in the Global South to raise more finance domestically. It means tackling unsustainable debt. And most importantly of all, it means working with our international partners to usher in a new era of private finance, including by reforming the international financial system, where we can support the ambition to triple the financing from the multilateral development banks. And look, the UK is uniquely well placed to help, not least with the strength of our financial services. And I'm determined that we will do, building on the work that President Ramaphosa has started with South Africa's G20 presidency. And can I just say what a fantastic thing it is that the G20 is being hosted in Africa for the first time here in South Africa. What a wonderful opportunity. It has been a great success, and the next 2 days will build on that success. Congratulations, Mr. President. We will work to convene an international coalition to mobilise private investment for development, and together we will bring the full power of the private sector and use it to help solve some of the most pressing global issues of our time, like the fact that 2 million people still die, even from these preventable and treatable diseases every year. In the United Kingdom, I've set the goal to be the generation to end all new cases of HIV. Let's be the generation to end all 3 of these diseases. As Nelson Mandela once said, it always seems impossible until it's done. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Prime Minister, thank you very much indeed, Prime Minister Starmer. Thank you very much indeed, President Ramaphosa. We're talking about ushering in a new era.